How's it going? Welcome back. It's Jonathan. Now this video is for anyone who has ever been interested in joining the programs but didn't know what was included, didn't know what to do, and was just really wanting to look for more information. So if you're not interested in joining any of the programs, this video is not for you and you can probably just click off right now. However, if you are interested in joining the programs, I thought I'd give you a rundown on what's included in each program and how you can go about joining. First of all, the easiest way to actually see what is included in each program is to go to the YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@itsjonoe. Click on the more links section right here, and you're going to see what programs are currently available at the time right here. So we're going to go down this list. I'm going to explain each one and what's included in each one. And then it's hopefully going to be able to give you more of an idea on what is included and how you can go about joining and accessing the content. So first of all, the Advanced Yearly Forecasting Service. We're going to click on this one right now. Wait for that to load up. Alrighty, so the Advanced Yearly Forecasting Service is basically a done-for-you service. Now, what does that mean? Well, it means that I basically put out a full year forecast for you. You can take a look at those forecasts and then you can get an idea on if the market's bullish or bearish for the year ahead. That would be for the Aussie market, the US markets, which includes the Dow Jones, the Nasdaq, and the S&P 500. Gold and also cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. And I go into some other things like the US dollar, silver to a degree and here and there. However, the point of this is to give you a full 365-day outlook on if the market is likely to be bullish or bearish. Now, not only do I do that, I also go into things such as terrorism, weather, or extreme weather events such as hurricanes, cyclones, earthquakes, etc. I look at world political and geopolitical events, whether we're heading into a war or if we're coming out of war. So it's pretty in-depth. It actually goes for, it can take you quite a while. I often get messages that people, they can spend a week sort of going through it, breaking it down. Yes, you can read it in probably like an hour, but they spend a week trying to break it down and sort of put all this together. But we're doing the exact thing that WD Gann did. And WD Gann used to put out a scientific forecast or a forecast for the year ahead in his early publications, and they were pretty damn accurate. So we're using his original methods of forecasting, and that's why we're able to have a much greater accuracy over the longer term. So like I said, you get all the market forecasts for the Australian market, the US markets, cryptocurrency and commodities. I also give you turn dates, so you get 60 critical dates for each market. Basically the way this one works is 60 turn dates for the year. These are the dates that I provide in my Time by Solar Degrees course. I provide you these dates, and they're going to give you the time periods on when to look out for market highs and lows in the year ahead. Okay, so you get the whole year ahead. Then we go ahead and look at the 18.6 year cycle. We look at the decade cycle, also look at the war cycle, so you can get an understanding of what's happening in the world and what's likely to occur next. I also overlay the McWhirter theory, so for those of you who are in the McWhirter course, you're going to be able to see how I actually apply the McWhirter theory to the markets. Look at the new moon to full moon aspects, look at the ingress chart to forecast the quarterly strength of the markets, look at the secondary factors, which I've actually done several individual YouTube videos on, and then I provide you the transit to natal chart turn dates for those markets. So it's quite in depth. It takes me roughly 1 month to put together. And now these are in Australian dollars, so this is AUD, so if you're paying USD, it's probably around the $900 mark. But it's $1,397 for the 12 months. If you want, you can also click this button here, which is split pay, and you can pay 466, which is AUD, okay, AUD dollars, and convert that to your currency. I think it's around 299, 320-ish US dollars, and that means you can just pay it off over 3 months. Now, not only do you get the initial full 365-day forecast, I also, in the back end, so if I bring over the back end right now, just wait for that to pop up there, I also provide 1 month at a time update on what's occurring in the markets, okay? So in this case, for the December period, I've provided an outlook on what was occurring in the past, and then I go ahead and look at what is occurring into the future. Now, as an example, you can see some of the forecasts that we've done here, such as the S&P. The yearly S&P 500 forecast was already published, and we have been running for the monthly directional bias is below. And as you can see here, we have the original trend, which is in the dark blue, which we predicted for the S&P 500. And then we have, the standard bar chart, which you can see was the directional bias for the S&P 500. So when we put out these forecasts, just as WD Gann did, we follow the same method and process. and we just align the markets that way. And if we go ahead and look at the Dow Jones, which was up here, you can see that we provided 3 suggested or potential curves for the year. Basically, they started down low, had some minor pullbacks at different points in time, but they all ended the year really strongly and much higher than they began. And if we go back in time, we can definitely see that there's been a upward trajectory in the year, which means that if you put aside everything that you have been told was going to occur in the financial markets, and we only just followed the directional biases of history, we would have been able to gauge when the market's likely to pull back and advance at different periods of time. Now, I've been doing this for a very long time, and I can tell you that this is actually pretty phenomenal stuff that we do and the stuff that I've been doing. And the guys that are in the back end, I'm sure that they agree too, the ones that sign up to the yearlies, okay? So that is the yearly forecasting service. So let's head back. Now, the Gann Mastery Program. The Gann Mastery Program was originally designed to give people a one-stop shop to purchase everything that I had originally published. And it was aimed at being a service that looked at funding future research. So I was able to use the funds to basically go out and buy more courses or spend more time studying. And that's exactly what I've done. I think over the last 12 months, I've probably put in maybe around another 20 grand to 25,000 into additional courses and packages of education, especially around Gann. There is some more courses that are being released in 2025 that I do want to get my hands on. However, basically everything that I'm learning is a one-time fee, and that is the Gann Mastery Program. Okay, it is the definitive forecasting mastery program. You're not going to get anything like this. I guarantee that. Now, some of the courses are extremely long, and I'll go over what the courses are included, and other ones can be a bit more shorter, okay? But the overall arching theme is that we're looking at the Gann method of forecasting. So some of the courses that are included are the 45 Years on Wall Street, Truth of the Stock Tape, we've got Geocosmic Studies, which includes our time by solar degrees, Building a Yearly Forecast. So what you saw before where I showed you the yearly forecast on the other page, let me just bring it back over. What I showed you here where I built the actual yearly forecast and I showed you the curve, well, I'd actually recorded that in full back in 2023. It was around October, November time period that I recorded that, and I published it for the guys who joined the Gann Mastery Program back around 2023, and I showed them exactly my method of thinking on are we going to be bullish or bearish for this specific year. So they had well over a year in advance to see these forecasts play out, and those that joined the monthly, well, they got it 1 month at a time. So if you want to learn or you want to see how I do it, this is one of the programs to be in, okay? The prices I used to charge in USD, because the US dollar is getting quite expensive now, I've changed it back to AUD. It's just to help people if they're in foreign countries manage their currency conversions, because the AUD is quite weak, right? So if you're buying from overseas, it's now a pretty decent currency to be paying in. So this is probably going to come down to around the 3,800 mark or so in US dollars, and maybe even the early 4,000 depending on the currency conversion at the time. However, we do have a final price increment of 9,000 or 10,000 US dollars. Okay, so that's where it's going to go to. That's what this mastery program is going to go to. So what I am going to do is just switch over to this one right here. So this is the current curriculum that I have. So we have 45 Years on Wall Street, and this program is basically, I only teach time, okay? So I don't teach stock trading, I don't teach how to buy and sell stocks, I don't teach anything like that. This is only on Gann's time methods, and I take them from his work. So how to forecast monthly highs and lows, how to forecast anniversary dates, which he talks about in his books, and I basically show you that method. What it means for new discoveries and how they influence the markets and what to do about it. Time periods for important swings on the averages, and his Rule 8 time periods. Okay, so this is the course which is 45 Years on Wall Street. Now this is only included for Gann Mastery students. Okay, I don't sell it as an individual program. Again, the Gann Mastery Program is designed to teach you everything Gann related, and I focus on time. The next one which I had here was Truth of the Stock Tape, another one of Gann's books. And in this course, I teach your weak points, signs of the times, charts and their uses, and stocks that are your enemies. Okay, again, all relating to the astro / timing of the markets. Again, timing is an open subject, so timing the markets is usually done with astronomy, and then using the Gann's methods, I also include anything else in relation to his work that also goes back to astronomy. Geocosmic Studies is actually the time by solar degrees course. So I have an introduction to geocosmic studies. We have a look at the solar system, And then I've also got time by solar degrees. So this is where this program is actually included. And in that I teach time by solar degrees, how to count time, lazy man signal, auto counting, 2024 time by solar degrees update, and I've also got counting in solar degrees manually. So this is a pretty comprehensive program, and it's going to teach you how to use the sun and in some parts the moon to forecast market highs and lows. Building a yearly forecast, yes, this was actually quite a comprehensive one of mine. It took over 10 hours, I believe, of recording. But basically I'll show you what research methods I apply. I look at the decade cycle, the financial timetable, and then I'll go ahead and show you how I would build the mass pressure charts. And there's actually quite a few sections here. Locating tops and bottoms in cycles, summarizing the 2024 forecast, building the yearly roadmap for 2025, and then I got the 2025 forecast. And in here, I've also just released the 2025 forecast. So this is now updated for everyone else who's in the program. You can go ahead and download this, and you'll be able to see basically the methods I use for forecasting the trends in the market, forecasting the trends in the world. Okay, so this one doesn't reapply the mass pressure theories. I only looked at geopolitical, social, economic, etc., all the events, news related. Okay, so this is how I forecast weather events. This is how I forecast deaths, terrorist attacks, etc. I'll show you the methods and what I'm looking for in each time period. Okay, so let's go back. Louise McWhirter's theory of forecasting. Again, this is all included in the Gann Mastery Program. However, if you can actually go right here, so time by solar degrees, if you want to get access to that program, you just click this button. It'll load up. We give it a second, and you can go ahead and purchase access. Now, the Gann Mastery Program is definitely the best way to obtain every single course that I've got, but its price is incremental. Okay, so over time, as more courses get added, it goes. So Louise McWhirter, if we open up this one here, so I'll get rid of the time by solar degrees. Louise McWhirter's program is actually quite in depth. Okay, so again, just remember, if you buy the Gann Mastery Program, you get Louise McWhirter's program included. However, if you want to obtain McWhirter's program individually, it does cost $997, or you can do a split pay. Okay, you just click this button right here and it'll split pay. Again, the prices are in Aussie dollars, so it's been changed. It's actually, I think, quite cheaper now. You can split pay it, and what you're going to be learning, again, just like the Gann Mastery Program, this one is only offered to 150 people globally. That is for people who are buying this program individually and not inside the Gann Mastery. Many people obtain it through Gann Mastery. The 18.6-year lunar cycle, I break it down. I show you the way she talks about it in her book, okay? How to forecast the New York Stock Exchange, broken down, spreadsheets and tools included. I also have provided a McWhirter's secondary factor tool, okay? Actually, I'm the only person, I believe, ever to present it in the way that I've presented it. So, and I've showed you that in prior videos, so this is actually very unique and very special. How to forecast individual stocks, provide you that information. And then personal investing and astrology. Now let's go over to the curriculum here. I'll just get rid of this one. So I break it down. We have an introduction as always. The 18.6-year business cycle, the McWhirter New York Stock Exchange forecasting method, McWhirter's methods for forecasting individual stocks. Okay, these are individual modules. Williams forecasting methods. So if you've not heard or seen of the way that Williams forecasts the markets, it's actually very unique, very good as well. Personal luck and investing and astrology. So that is under this bonus section. And then course updates, I've included McWhirter's inflection points, McWhirter's theory of secondary factors. I give you the secondary factors tool, and then the signed rulerships of the countries, so you can understand what's going on in each country at a particular time and start to forecast greater things than just the stock market, okay? At the moment, I am working on the audiobook for the McWhirter course, so I've actually transcribed all the content, and I'm now turning it into audiobook format, so you don't have to listen to my voice reading it out. You can continue your study with a beautiful artificially generated voice and go from there. So other things that we're looking at, we've got the timing solution files here for you. We got dangerous zones, McWhirter's dangerous zones, McWhirter's 18.6-year cycle, McWhirter cycles. I provide you the actual WTS files and timing solutions if you use that software. I'll show you how to use them too. And we've also got, if I just get rid of this, we've also got the actual tool itself, which is going to enable you to apply McWhirter's methods. So again, all the tools get updated over time. This is just the ones that we're currently using. So what you do is, this is McWhirter's lunation forecasting calculator. I'm not going to teach you how to use it. I'm just going to give you a rundown on what we do. We input the longitude of the planet at a specific time that we're forecasting for, and then what it does is it spits out, so it calculates everything, and it spits out right here underneath the bottom. It says net aspect value of 71 equals bullish bias, and then the four biases we have are bullish bias with bearish tendencies, bearish bias with bullish tendencies, bearish bias, and bullish bias. These are the four phases of the markets that I have put McWhirter's theory into. And then we have, so this is what I believe to be the traditional way that McWhirter would forecast the market. Then we have version 2, which is a more streamlined and alternative method, I guess. Uses the same calculations as the first one, however, calculates the aspect value slightly different. However, we still get the 4 outcomes, okay? So in this case, the net aspect value of 2 is bullish bias. Then I show you the Williams forecasting methods. So we have the tool to calculate the method. This is monthly forecasting using the Williams methods. So basically you put in your date, you're transiting with your aspect to the natal, so transiting planet, what aspect it was to the natal planet. It would then spit out the points of what that calculates, and then down the bottom it would give us a net aspect value and tell us if it's bullish or bearish for the month ahead. Okay, so this is using Williams methods. Then I give you Williams solar ingress calculator. Again, same method I applied for the McWhirter method. Go ahead and put in all the longitude of the planets. Again, same sort of tool, same sort of setup as the McWhirter one. However, based on the information that you pop in here, it would give us the 3-month bias, okay, so the quarterly bias, each new seasonal ingress into a cardinal sign, which would be, winter, autumn, spring, summer. It would tell us then, is the quarter ahead likely to be bullish or bearish, and that would be the Williams method. The final one, which I give you, is the corporate natal to natal, and basically this one is going to tell us, this is part of, just so I can remind you now, this is part of the personal luck and investing and astrology, and what you would do here is you would put in your aspects for the ascendant, sun and moon, so you put in the degrees, and then it would aspect to the corporate one. So your ascendant would aspect Venus. You'd put in basically the degree and the minute in the tops. Alrighty, so the next thing I wanted to show you was, what do you do when you sign up and you want to get access? So let's go ahead. Let's say you signed up to the Gann Mastery Program and you want to get access to the tools, okay? So you're going to then be included in the group here, okay? So this is the International School of Forecasting. You'll receive an invite and you'll be able to access any of the groups that you've bought access to. So you got the financial timetable. Actually, that's one I didn't mention. WD Gann's financial timetable, which is a new release. Let's just backtrack on that. What this is over 130 minutes of 4K video. You get spreadsheets and tools included, and you get all future updates, okay? So it's going to give you, this is probably the most comprehensive program on WD Gann's financial timetable I've ever seen. That's because I went above and beyond on what I was trying to deliver to you. And it's going to show you the 18.6 year cycle on the timetable, the North Node cycle, so it's interlinked basically directly with McWhirter's method because it's using the same cycle. It's going to show you when the peaks and troughs occur, and that's through Gann's lettering of A to K. It's going to then teach you how to calculate these for yourself out into the future. And then what it's going to do is show you how to build your own timetable. So once you've basically learned about the cycle, learned how the North Node travels around it, learned what WD Gann's setup was, how to calculate your letters into the future, you're then going to be able to construct your own timetable, okay? So this is going to mean that you're going to be able to backtest and also future test your version of your timetable and optimize it for future use. The timetable that I give you is the version that I'm using and the one that I believe is probably, based on this theory, going to be the most accurate for this. However, the one that you're going to be able to build for yourself is going to be optimized based on your understanding of this concept, okay? And then what I do is I backtest WD Gann's timetable and his A to K lettering from 1785 out to 2008. Okay, actually it goes out to around 2020, but 2008 is WD Gann's timetable. And what this is going to do is show you that this has actually worked for close to 250 years. Okay, most of the data that you see online uses the Dow Jones from 1901. Some data goes back to 1880. However, we've got data from 1785, and I go back all the way back in time and I show you where the peaks and troughs occur and how inaccurate or accurate WD Gann's timetable was over the 200 to 300 year period, okay? So this is actually extraordinary program if you want to learn WD Gann's methods of forecasting. So once you've joined in the program, let's say you're in the Gann Mastery Program and you want to get access to the tools that are included. Well, you click this button right here which says License Software. So this is now going to enable you to license any software that we've given you access to, or you're going to be able to see what software is available to you. I'm just going to type in one right now, which is just a dummy, and I'm going to click Next. It's going to fetch any available tool or sheet that is available to you. It's going to, up the top here, it's going to tell you what sheets are available to you, such as the decade, in this case I've got the decade cycle forecasting tool, WD Gann's mass pressure forecasting charts, and the Venus pressure charts. So these are the ones that are available to the email that I had just registered. And then sheets outside of your current license are going to be listed below, and it's going to give you links that you can purchase them from. So if we click the Swing Clusters Forecast, it's going to then direct us to the program that has this in it. And in this case, you can see that this is only available to Gann Mastery students. If we click the Louise McWhirter one, this is only available, or this is available to both Gann Mastery, because remember Gann Mastery has everything, and the McWhirter method. And then the financial timetable is going to be available to the Gann Mastery students because they get everything. And it's also going to be available to those who buy WD Gann's financial timetable course, okay? So that's how that works. Now what you do then is you would click this button right here. So once you've selected the tool that you want, you would click register. It's then going to register this tool to that email address basically. Now we just wait. I don't know if this is going to error out or not because I did just pop in I just did register a dummy email before. But we'll see what happens if it errors out or not, because I'll show you the next step. Okay, there it goes. So it says registration successful. Check your email for access. So all you do now is you head over to your email address, especially the email, whoever owns this email address, they just got registered to this one. And now you can open the tool that I have just provided you. Now you're going to get a copy of this tool. This tool is going to sit in my Google Drive and you're going to be an editor of it. And what that means is that you can then receive updates to that tool, okay? So what I can do is I can tell you that there's a new update. You can come back here, click on the one that you want to update, click register, and it's going to re-register an updated version and delete the old one, okay? So you're going to be able to update or upgrade your tool. Now it's recommended that you don't share this tool with anyone else. First of all, it's a breach of the NDA agreement. But second of all, it's going to mean that you won't be able to update the tool, okay? So if you click share or copy, it'll actually be tagged and it actually can impact you updating this in the future, and we'll get notified of that. So just keep it in your drive, don't make any changes to it, don't make any changes to the name. It'll just help simplify this whole process, okay? So that's how you register. That's basically it. So all the programs that are currently out are available to all Gann Mastery Program students. If you are buying the tools individually, you can continue to buy them individually at your free will. So Gann's financial timetable has been included. The ones that are not finished yet are mass pressure charts. So this one has been started and has been on pause for a little while. So I actually started this back in 2023 and just recently started to add some more to it. Basically, I go over Gann's annual forecasts, give you a brief overview of how the mass pressure charts work, and then the whole purpose of this program is to teach you how to build your own, okay? And in order to build your own, you need to know where we are within any given cycle at any given time. That means we need to be looking at the smaller cycles, such as where we are, for example, in a Mars cycle or Venus cycle or whatnot. Then we need to be looking at the larger cycles, such as the Jupiter or Saturn cycle, where we are in parts of those cycles, such as the 10-year cycle, or even bigger cycles like the 50 or 100-year cycle. I got to first of all teach you all these cycles, and then we got to figure out where we are within these cycles. So that way, when you go ahead and build your pressure chart, you can understand which cycle is likely to play out and influence that year ahead. Now, when you learn the way to build mass pressure charts and you have the cycles all in play and they're all working, I want you to know that the cycle is never wrong, okay? And that's very important, because when you go and start playing with this early on, you're going to be like, this one isn't really playing out this year. But I also teach you how to do inversions, okay? So the cycle is never wrong, it only inverts. And I give you all the cycles from 1987 out into the future, and I show you the best fits of how to apply WD Gann's mass pressure charts and the exact way that I have been doing it. So I built this one, when did I do it? I did it in December 2023. I went through and rebuilt all the mass pressure charts from 1987 forward, and I got the best fits of this method, and all I used in order to replicate this, all I used was Gann's primary cycles. That was the objective that I had. I needed to build the mass pressure chart in a way that followed WD Gann's rules, and the only thing I could do was invert the cycle. And this is the outcome that I got. So you can see this is how we do it. If you want to get a better forecast than this for the year ahead, be my guest and try and figure it out. But I think this is pretty spectacular if you look at the accuracy of these forecasts. Sure, you're not going to get everything right. For example, right here we have this inversion where the market found a low right here, started to move up, but this period right here where it fell, it ran up into this peak, which is basically an opposite of this low. So we're only dealing with inversions in the cycles. Once we have the cycle playing out, we only deal with inversions, and that makes the game a lot easier, and that's what I'm trying to teach you now, okay? So we're only dealing with inversions. Okay, this is out to 2013. Let's go back again, actually. So let's go to 2007. 2007 would have been primarily bullish, the first start of the collapse, so this period here. 2008, again, we're applying WD Gann's cycle theory. 2009, bullish. 2010, sort of wavy, end of year rally. 2011, and so forth. Now there are going to be some, I think some of them were quite hard to do because the volatility at the time. 2016 was actually one of our beautiful forecasts where the market reacted perfectly. 2017 was relatively bullish, so start of the year, drop off, and then just wild bull market. 2018, so falling, rising, falling. We had a bit of a steeper dip here than we did in this point. However, this is the framework that we'd be looking for. 2019, slow start up into a peak is actually, I believe, the one that we were forecasting before a decline. We would have been buying in this period here, September, October, end of year rally. I know a lot of people were actually selling in this period, so they were taking profits in these highs around here on the forecast. They would have been looking for profits basically July to September. And then 2020, so big market crash, strong rally off the base there. 2021, 2022, okay, so you can see sort of how this works. All we're dealing with is inversions, remember. 2023 and the 2024 one you would have seen at the start of this video that we were following. This is how we build our cycle forecast. Now, you could randomize this in any which way you want, but then you'll begin to realize just how unique each year is. And all we need to do is follow the cycles, and you'll be able to see just how beautiful this method is, okay? Just how beautiful this method is. So that is being taught in the mass pressure chart program. It hasn't been released yet, but as soon as I finish, I got to get around to finishing it. It'll be released. Okay, so this long-winded video also has another program that I'm currently developing. That is an intraday trading one, so that'll include intraday forecasting as well as intraday trading. Okay, so a lot of these, again, the primary focus is Gann, and my objective is to show you how to use Gann the way that I would use it, and with methods that actually work and can be applied. Gann has a lot of, there's a lot of like interpretation, okay? You got to interpret it the right way, and you have to learn how to apply it the right way. And that's why I'd say, yes, there's a science, but there's also an art. And I try to just teach you the science because the only way you can pick up the art is by doing it, okay? So this is the current framework. Future courses are going to include the World Horoscope by Safario and a bunch of Safario programs. I'm also doing some courses with the Sacred Science Institute. Going to be working on a private course which will be L. David Linksey's The Key to Speculation in the Gold Market. You have to be a member of Sacred Science to actually obtain this one, but I'll go through his content and teach it. And there's a lot more to come. There's a lot more from Safario, George Bayer, other forecasters. There's a lot of this work that is, luckily for us, out of copyright now, but very deep and very hard to understand. So my objective is to go through the content and then teach it to you, okay? And that takes a lot of time. But that's the objective. So it takes a lot of time to actually do this, but I appreciate your patience. And if you want to join any of the programs, just reach out to me. You now know how to do it, where to find it. It's basically just the YouTube channels where you're going to get the latest links, okay? If any program comes offline here, then they're no longer being publicly available, or they're not available at the time period, okay? So that's it. That's all I got. This is, again, just remember, this is for those who are interested in joining, didn't know what was included in each program. They're pretty in-depth, sometimes can be slightly boring because they can be long-winded. However, you just got to keep your notepad out and just take notes, because along the way I just drop things that are important, okay? That's all. I'll talk to you soon.